Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to write the equation of a perpendicular bisector of the segment AB if the ordered pair for A is the point -3, 2 and B is 1, -6. So first I always recommend plotting the 2 points given to give yourself a visual representation of what you're actually asked to do. So we have point A at -3, 2, and let's just say that each of these intervals is worth 1. So we have the point -3, 2 is point A, and I'm going to label that with point A and its ordered pair. And then we have the point B at 1, -6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to label that B, and 1, -6. Okay, so I'm going to connect these 2 points and draw this as line segment AB. And the first thing we want to do is find the midpoint, because this word right here, bisector, means that we are drawing a line that bisects segment AB, or cuts it in half. There's a couple different ways to do this. You could use the midpoint formula, or we could just look at the segment itself. So from point A to point B, we are moving right 1, 2, 3, 4 units. Okay, so the midpoint, halfway between there, we're only going to move over 2. So I know that the x-coordinate of my midpoint is going to be at -1. Okay, then from A to B, we also go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. So I know that my midpoint, or halfway, I'm only going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which puts me here at this point, which I'm going to label point M for midpoint and write its ordered pair as well as -1, -2. Now I also could have used the midpoint formula, which essentially averages the x and y coordinates. So my x coordinates are -3 and 1 from point A is -3 and 1 from point B. I want to average those, so I want to add those together and divide by 2, and then do the same using the y coordinates from A and B, for 2 plus -6 divided by 2. Which simplifies to -3 plus 1 is -2 divided by 2 is -1 for my x-coordinate, and my y-coordinate I have 2 plus -6, which is -4, divided by 2 is -2. So I end up getting the same thing. So those are 2 different ways to find the midpoint. Okay, so I know that my line is going to go through the point M, but I want my line to also be perpendicular to segment AB. And I know that perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes, and if that is confusing, please refer to problem 3, number 9 in your text. So I first need to know what the slope of segment AB is in order to find its opposite reciprocal. So the slope of AB, you can do this in several different ways, but I'm going to just use my rise over run, which we already kind of talked about. So because slope is rise over run, I'm going to look at segment AB from left to right. So my rise really is it's going down. It's going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. So my rise is going to be -8 because I'm going down from left to right. And my run, I'm going to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is my run. So if I simplify this, the slope of segment AB is -2. Okay, so perpendicular slopes have opposite reciprocal. So if I have the slope of the perpendicular line, it's going to be the opposite reciprocal of -2, or -2/1, which is positive, because this one is negative, it is positive 1/2. So this is the slope that I'm going to use for the line that I'm trying to draw. So I'm looking for a line that has a slope of positive 1/2. If I go back to my line, that means from point M, I'm going to go up 1/2. Okay, up 1/2, up 1/2, or down 1 to the left 2, etc. So this is the line I'm trying to write the equation for, those two being perpendicular. Okay, so we recently learned point-slope form of a line, which is pretty handy in this situation. So point-slope form is y equals m times x minus x1 plus y1, where m is the slope, okay? And from these two, x1, y1 is a point on the line. Well, I have both of those things. I know that the slope of this line here, the slope is 1/2, which is m in my equation, and I have the point -1, -2. So using point slope form, if my slope is 1/2 and my x1, y1 is -1, -2, I can substitute those values in for m, x1, and y1. So the equation of the line would be y equals 1/2 times x minus -1 plus -2. And if I simplify this, I get y equals 1/2 times x minus -1 is the same as plus 1, and plus -2 is the same as -2. You can leave it in this form. This form is perfectly fine to leave it in. If you want it in slope-intercept, or y equals mx plus b form, you can distribute the 1/2. So we get y equals, so this is or, 1/2 x plus 1/2 minus 2, which is the same as y equals 1/2 x minus 1.5. Both of these are perfectly fine ways to write the equation of the line. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 problems to practice, and then I'm going to suggest that you pause the tape, practice the problems, and then check your solutions. So for both of these, you are finding the equation of the perpendicular bisector of segment AB. I'm going to give you 2 different sets of points for A and B. So let's start with A is -3, 1, and B is 2, -7. Okay, and then for the second problem that I want you to practice with, A is the point 6, 1, and B is the point -2, -1. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and practice those. Okay, so I've written the solutions in point-slope form, which you can distribute and rewrite in slope-intercept form if you want. The answer to problem 1 is y equals 5/8 times the quantity x plus 0.5 minus 3, and the answer to 2 is y equals -4 times the quantity x minus 2.